Hey, so I read and watched Lady Bird by Greta Gerwig, and it's a relatively short movie, an hour and 35 minutes, so it's tight. It's done really well, and I really admire the cinematic structure and the use of montages, which allow the movie to be take place over a year and a half. And they were used really effectively to build upon themselves emotionally to make me really care about Ladybird and her mom's relationship, which is the ultimate main focus of the movie. One of my initial thoughts after I immediately watched the movie and I was crying was it checks all the boxes to be a coming of age story, but it actually isn't one. Because the titular character, Lady Bird, already is Lady Bird. It's not about her becoming Lady Bird. She knows who she is and is confident in that identity and knows what she wants, which is to go to an East Coast school. And she's really interesting and kind of like quirky in how she achieves that. But the movie is really about everyone else in her life, her school, Sacramento, her hometown, and her mom coming to terms with that. And Lady Bird's arc ends up being learning what love is. There's a really great quote where she's sitting with her nun advisor, teacher person, and they're talking about attention and love. And the nun suggests that maybe attention and love are the same thing, which really articulates her mom's love language to Ladybird and their tough relationship. And Ladybird coming to realize she loves her mom and how much her mom loves her. And it's very well cinematically captured at the end of the movie by them shot switching to them driving through Sacramento, enjoying the beautiful emotional scenery, and Lady Bird realizing how much she loves her mom and how much she loves Sacramento. Who throughout the rest of the film, she hates it and wants to get out of her and wants to leave her mom and like tells how much she hates her to her face, um, which is a really full circle effective callback to the inciting incident where they are driving in a car together, but at the end of the movie, they're different cars, same route. And they're amazingly listening to Grapes of Wrath on an audiobook and crying. And but then they immediately get into their first argument we see in the movie that ends in the inciting incident of Lady Bird rolling out of the car and breaking her arm and ending up in a pink cast for most of the movie, which is really exciting. And an interesting difference between that and the original script is that in the script it said they were at rolling to a stop light, but in the movie the car's like going. So it's like a much more dangerous situation, higher stakes, and it's not funny. It's like, oh, it's kind of shocking, which is really effective at keeping our attention through sometimes I think appropriately slow paced scenes and kind of very mundane portraits of everyday life, which like Act One, it's not a boring portrait. It takes a very interesting portrait of her life at this Catholic school and at this very poor middle class house, but then wrestling with being in this rich kid environment of Catholic school that ends in the key incident of her auditioning for the musical and talking to this cool kid, Danny, who she then dates and finds out to be gay. So she dates the other guy. It's a whole thing. So she navigates this idea of love, attempts to through her crushes and her friends, but then ultimately realizes the importance of love with her mom. And one of my favorite symbols in the movie, and this is what made me cry, was the yellow legal notepad. So at a point in Act Two, uh, she's fighting with her parents again, and they get into that cliche statement of the parents saying, "Do you know how much it costs to raise you?" To which Lady Bird responds, "How much? Write it down." And she grabs this yellow legal notepad and gives it to them. It's like, write it down. And they won't give her a number. Fast forward to later in the novel, Lady Bird has gotten in college, she's going to college, and the mom is writing on the same legal notepad, ripping it up, crumpling up, and throwing it off, trying to, we later learn, come up with a message of how much she loves her. She never ends up giving any of them to her, but Lady Bird still gets them because the dad steals them and mails them to her. And it's like Lady Bird knows how much her mom loves her, but her mom doesn't know she knows. And it's like it's so sad, and none of that is explained to the audience. Like, my intelligence is stimulated, and I am left feeling satisfied in this full circle way at the end of the movie in regards to their relationship. So, those are my thoughts on Ladybird.